AITA for despising my mentally handicapped sister. Please bear with me while I explain why the title is so demeaning. My autistic brother or sister is severely autistic. She is a continual source of concern and cannot be left alone. She is deafeningly silent despite her early age. She is very destructive and violent, destroying anything and everything she comes into contact with. She is someone I loathe. Despite the fact that this should be inaccurate, it does not seem to be so. I was just 6 years old when she was born, and I have never again had my parents' complete and undivided attention since then. For as long as I can remember, the whole world has revolved around her. I was moved from my room to the basement when I was 7 years old because my sister needed to be in the room next to my parents. I remember her wrecking all of my toys when I was a kid, and when I complained, my parents just ignored me. I was in the wrong even when I was 14 years old, and she caused damage to a mat that my school had given to me. Along with this, I'm expected to care after her and stop doing whatever it is that I'm now doing for her. When it comes to making plans with friends, I'm unable to do so since my parents expect me to be there if they need my assistance in caring for her. They expect me to leave even when I have time to myself, and I have no choice but to do so. I will be penalized if I do not comply. This happened to me recently when I went to see the new Spider-Man movie and was grounded for not turning off my phone while at the theater. It seems that I am nothing more than a to them, and that anything involving her takes priority over my own interests and well-being. I was asked to give a speech at a school celebration last week, and I gladly accepted. My parents had agreed to attend, but they never showed up, blaming it on my sister. I was ecstatic and my parents had promised to be there. When anything like this comes to me, they are always too concerned with her to notice. I've been keeping it in for a long time, and this was the day I finally let it out. During a conversation between my father and me about colleges, he joked that I should pursue a degree with a high salary so that after they are gone, I would be able to care for my sister. I'm not sure why, but this made me weep for no apparent reason. I screamed and wailed about how everything seemed to revolve around her all the time. For them, I'm nothing more than a caretaker. Everything revolves around her, and I'm expected to serve as her for the rest of my life. Since then, I've locked myself in my room, and my parents haven't been to see how I'm getting along. AITA, Update 1. Wow, thank you so much for all of your love and support. I had no idea this post would become so popular. Thank you very much. After giving it some thought, you are correct that I do not detest my sister. It isn't her fault she was born the way she is. My parents came to speak to me after my breakdown, but couldn't bring myself to talk to them and instead just wept and begged them to go. They have made plans for me to stay with my grandpa for the time being, and I am getting ready to travel to his home. My parents want to speak to me, but we've agreed it's best if I go for now, so that I can have some space and time to myself. We will get down and discuss this matter later this week. Thank you everyone again for your kindness and support at this difficult time. Update 2. Since the day I wrote the blog entry, I've been staying with my grandfather. The past week has been a significant adjustment for me, both for the better and for the worse, and I'll try to break it down for you. It was terrifying to see how frightened my grandpa looked as I started to explain my reasons for having broken down in that manner. It wasn't known to anybody else in the family that my parents were effectively using me as a free nanny for my younger sister. The details of what my grandfather told me are too personal for me to share here. But in essence, my sister was supposed to be receiving professional care, and that my parents were ignoring that, and I was not supposed to be caring for her in any way because she is apparently dangerous to herself and others because she is mentally ill. With everything else I told him, even stuff like the dirty video, he became enraged and warned me not to contact my parents without him there. He essentially assured me that he would meet with my parents beforehand, and that he would be there when I sat down with them to discuss the situation. After that, other family members came over to check on me and tell me things my parents had been keeping hidden from me for the rest of the week. This involves my parents collecting money from family members in order to fund a caretaker who does not really exist in our household. A difficult week has been had by everybody, to put it kindly. In spite of everything, though, my extended family has showed me more love than I've experienced in a long period of time. To make up for the time I've lost, my grandfather has spent the preceding week urging me to spend time with friends and participate in activities that I like in order to make up for the time I've lost. This week, my aunts and uncles have also been a great source of assistance. So on Saturday evening, I got together with my parents to catch up. It did not go as planned, to put it kindly. They were very open and honest with me about every aspect of their lives. They stated certain things to me that I will not share with you in this article. They did not, however, express regret. My parents still believe that I owe anything to my sister in terms of my time. You've been assigned here to look after her, my father explained to me. I'm not going to lie and say that I was in a good mood. I addressed them once I had learned all I could about them. Due to the fact that my sister needed assistance, among other things, my father was taking money from his sister, which I discovered. They either refused to acknowledge it or created reasons for doing so. And by the end of the day, we were in a worse predicament than we had been before. The conversation I'm having with them today will be my last for a long time. Following my conversation with my grandfather and uncle last night, I have decided not to return. After work today, I'll be traveling there to pick up my possessions and move in with my grandfather. When I graduate from high school, I plan to move out of the state to pursue a degree in another field. My aunt has told me that the money she was planning to give to my father would now be given to me instead of my father. My parents have phoned me twice since Saturday, neither of them offering an apology, and instead only inquiring as to when I will be returning to the United States. I'm not going to be returning to them. While I'm still a bit on edge about the situation, I believe that we'll pass soon enough. Everything in my family is demonstrating their love and support for me, and it feels incredible. My parents, on the other hand, were both taken from me. What I've learned as a result of this experience is something I wish I'd known sooner. My sister is not someone I despise. In truth, she is someone I cherish to the depths of my existence. It was a mistake on my part to direct my anger towards her. That was incorrect, and I want to make apologies as soon as possible. Nonetheless, I must go for the time being. So that's the most recent news from me. Once again, thank you for your interest in my initial blog posting. I would want to offer my gratitude to everyone who took the time to leave a comment or show their support. Thank you so much for your assistance. Edit. Thank you very much, everyone. I wish I could react to each and every one of you, but my lunch break is limited. I'll let you know how the relocation goes tonight, but thank you all in advance. I'd want to express how grateful I am for your help, and that your compassion means more to me than anybody could ever understand. Late edit. Wow, I had no idea my tale would become that famous. I know it's corny, and I've said it 1,000 times before, but thank you everyone. We just returned from removing my belongings from my parents' home. Everything I wanted to take, my grandfather and uncle assisted in moving, and everything is now at my grandfather's home. My birth certificate, social security card, and any other document and record I could think of are all in my possession. My parents were silent the whole time I was there. My father went with my sister shortly after I came, and my mother merely hung over us quietly while I moved. It took some time, but as we were leaving, she sobbed and told me she loved me and would miss me. I embraced her and said my goodbyes, and that was the end of it. Even today, I'm wondering whether she actually meant it. She waited till the end after a week of not saying anything. I'm open. She meant it. But for the time being, I believe I just need to look forward. Maybe one day I'll be able to reunite with my parents. I certainly hope so. Thank you everyone for your support and suggestions. It's been incredible, and I'm grateful that I've gotten some good out of this ordeal. Will I return? I'm not sure. If anything occurs and you still want an update, I'll probably come back around. But for the time being, I'm going to move on. Thank you to everyone who shared their tales with me, and I hope to see you on the other side. See you later, Space Cowboys.